Alright guys, so with the updated PvP tier list yesterday for January 2025, we are going to be following it up with the PvE tier list, adding the new Shadow Milk cookie as well as Candy Apple cookie and the little forgotten Okchan as well. So this is going to be the PvE tier list, including something like the World Exploration, Beasties, Cookie Alliance, and like Cake Tower and things like that, excluding the Guild Boss Battle, just because of the fact that Guild Boss Battle really requires very specific teams to actually, get those damages going. So this tier list is not going to include the Guild Boss Battle ratings. Anyways guys, let's get into the actual tier list here, and starting off with the stay away as always, and that is going to be from Sonic all the way up to Moonrabbit. Still looking out for some of the magic candies of these particular cookies, but as of right now, they are going to be really bad for most of the content. I will highly recommend you stay away from them and don't use your resources. C tier 2 is very bad in my opinion. From Candy Diver all the way down to Sparkling, they did have their usage sometimes, but nowadays they are going to be very bad and not worth your resources for most of the PvE content. And we have B tier from Clotted Cream all the way down to Cherry Blossom. These two are, I would say, in more of the bad side. Of course, you can use them. Something like Latte, something like Clotted Cream can be viable, but in most of the cases with like special effects and stuff like that coming out from the enemies, it's probably not going to be a good idea to invest in them for PvE side of things for the long run. Now A tier is going to be from Pattaya Dragon all the way down to Golden Asmanthus. Alright, so these guys too are, now starting to get to the place where they are pretty decent, but still are going to be outperformed by most of the cookies up on the top tiers. Most of these cookies are very outdated. Even with the magic candy, they are, in my opinion, they did get a slight buff into their kits and things like that, but definitely with the amount of resources that you actually have to invest into them, they are probably not going to be worth it. Again, the ones that we're looking out for is going to be, in my opinion, for me, Eclair as well as Cotton, and then we'll see when other dragons come out as well. And then next is going to be the Situational. These are going to be for specific stages and only really used for that, and for them it's going to be coming out to something like the Zap effects from Dark Cacao regular form, and then we have Shining Glitter as well, and then we have Almond for not really much of any more, but if you guys still have to use something like Almond and you have Almond built, it's gonna be for more of those really tough stages where a lot of enemies comes out and you're able to actually use Almond skill. We have Herb with the Purify effect, we have Pomegranate with the attack increase, we have Pumpkin Pie with the summon unit as well as healing reduction, which is like about 70%, and then we have Caramel Shoe, who is going to also have a decent buff as well. And I'm actually going to be adding Okchan in here as well. Not really a great cookie to use for most cases. I mean, you do have like the crit buff and things like that, but in my opinion, probably not going to be a good one. The healing is really bad, so just keep that in mind as well. And then we have BTS for like those people who are returning who has a BTS. Nowadays, if you're gonna use BTS, then it's probably better to go with any other epic cookies that are up on the top tier as well. Alright, next one is gonna be the S tier here, guys, and then we have from Moonlight all the way down to our Mozzarella, and then we have Caramel Arrow all the way down to Silver Bell. So I actually did bring up someone like Mozzarella and Silver Bell to the S tier because I thought, I have seen a lot of comments talking about Mozzarella. Mozzarella definitely is not the worst DPS in my opinion too, because of the fact that you do have a pretty big knockback and slows and things like that. So we have Mozzarella up in the S tier now instead of the A tier, and definitely has more usage. And then Silver Bell with the stuns, and we have healing and damage resist increase and things like that. So I think it, he deserves an S tier as well. Alright, and then we have all the other cookies. The latest added last time was going to be Camellia as well as Choco Drizzle. So we do have that. And then we have the SS tier here, guys, and that is going to be from the Awakened Golden Cheese and then of course the regular Golden Cheese. and then all the way down to frilled jellyfish, and then we have our peppermint all the way down to icicle yeti. So we have golden cheese awaken here with the regular form in the SS tier. Some people still do argue, and I think it's reasonable argument too, that golden cheese awaken can be in the OP stage. But in my opinion, as of the PvE stage, compared to something like the PvP where Golden Cheese Awaken is going to do so much debuff and is very, very crucial, I would say inside of the PvE stage though, it's not as strong. Like if your cookies are getting blown up, then you're gonna get blown up, even with the revive, even with the shield that she does provide and things like that. It's not as effective as the PvP side of things, so I think it's better to stay in the SS tier. We do have someone like Space Donut up here as well that I have brought up. Space Donut is really, really good, especially on like something like Cookie Alliance, as well as most of the PvE stages where you are still able to turn the cookies into donuts, and also the defense reduction and things like that. So very, very good to start out with if you guys don't have any decent tanks. It doesn't even require a magic candy. We brought up Linzer as well as Captain Caviar here as well, and then we brought up Nutmeg Tiger from a lot of the other comments that I've gotten as well. Nutmeg Tiger's healing is actually relatively insane, I would say, compared to a lot of the other supports. But the only downside again is that Nutmeg Tiger does need to attack. Like you need to use a skill, and that's where majority of the healing actually comes from. So just keep that in mind. And then of course, if you combine it with someone like Burning Spice, you do get a bonus as well. And then the rest of it is pretty much same from last time as well. And then I would say in here I can add in someone like Candy Apple. I would say either SS tier or the S tier with the weakness debuff. I would put S tier for now. I think it's a better choice to put in the S tier. Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, if you guys know, there is a new Red Velvet Dragon meta team with Candy Apple. However, inside of the regular PvE, I will have to argue that she does have a very, very, as you guys know, a slow, skill. So that is another downside to her. Can't be amplified with any other attack speed buff either. So we do have that. I mean, you have like extra debuffs, buffs, and shields, and weakness debuff and stuff like that. But still, because of how slow it is, I would say it's better in the S tier. All right, and then we have the OP tier. Of course, it's going to be from Burning Spice all the way down to Black Lemonade. I would say right here, these three are very combo specific, so they do need to be paired up with each other. But the rest of them are just really, really good overall, even if they're by themselves. Burning Spice, obviously. We have Wind Archer, obviously, as well. And then Awakened Dark Cow. And then we have Mystic Flower and Rebel. I mean, best healer, best, I would say, debuffer inside of the game with all the elements that are coming out right now, too. And then we have Burning Spice, Immortality, just straight up damage. Wind Archer, straight up damage. Dark Cow, straight up pretty much damage and debuffs and healing reduction and all that stuff. And then I would say, I mean, I talked to guild members and I talked to other people as well, but Shadow Milk Cookie is either inside of the OP tier or the SS tier. Some people might argue that he is not as good as he is inside of the arena compared to the PvE section, but you gotta realize he does have a really, really good damage output, not only to one specific cookie, but inside of the area damage as well. And also you do have a immortality, you have a buff where he's able to heal himself as well with dealing extra damage if there's a bunch of debuffs, which you guys already know PvE has a bunch of debuff. In my opinion, with the kit that he does have, he is a massive big damage dealer. So I want to add him into the OP tier, but I will leave the discussion open to you guys inside of the comment section so that you guys can let me know what your opinions are regarding the Shadow Milk. So let me know where you guys would put him and the reason why as well. But that is pretty much what we have for the PvE tier list here, guys. Hope you guys found the video helpful. I know a lot of people have been asking for a PvE tier list, and also I did forget Okchan last time too instead of the PvP, but Okchan is not that good, so just keep that in mind. But again, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have anything you guys would like to add, discuss, of course you guys can leave it in the comment section, and I will catch you guys all in the next video.